Get ready for a good laugh and undercover boss when things go terribly wrong.
Here's the rules of my game. The first girl that finishes her plate of beans will go home. You cannot use your hands.
We're diving into hilarious mishaps CEOs face during undercover missions. Watch as top dogs try to blend in, but end up in hilarious situations, showing that even big shots aren't immune to unscripted comedy. And this one definitely wasn't ready for what he was about to see. So meet this person here.
I'm Harlan Kent, President and CEO of Yankee Candle.
He slaps on his mask and goes by the name Dan, all geared up to peep what's actually happening in his company. Dude's like, I'm gonna blend in as a newbie employee in one of our retail joints. You know, all he wanted was to get down and dirty, learn the ropes, and see what his employees were up to.
While undercover, I'll be posing as Dan Johnson, a chef from Cincinnati, Ohio. My coworkers will be told that I'm a contestant on a reality TV show called Second Chances.
Dan's all excited, ready to see the daily hustle and bustle and chat with customers. He gets paired up with this guy named Blaze, who's a store sales associate. Now, Dan's expected to see some amazing dedication and enthusiasm from Blaze, but boy was he in for a surprise.
Guest comes up, you have the chart.
Yep.
And the instructions to make a rainbow. Over here, the biggest pain is just, kids are gonna get messy.
As Dan shadows Blaze, he quickly notices something's off. Blaze isn't exactly jumping with joy to help customers.
These people are incredibly nice.
They're not all gonna be like that.
Dude, it's just little kids. Why? But it's one thing to hate kids, right? But what he does next will have you shook.
Oh my God.
They're just gonna do whatever they want.
He did not. Really, dude? What did those little kids even do to you for them to deserve this? And when kids come up, Blaze looks like he'd rather be anywhere else. Talk about a lack of interest, right? And believe it or not, things get even worse. His hatred for kids runs much deeper than we thought, guys, because what he said next is completely out of pocket.
And there has been instances where you're gonna wanna strain and slap a kid.
Whoa, buddy, now that's way out of line. Slap a kid? Damn, dude got some serious rage issues, and he needs to keep them in check ASAP. All Kent, aka Dan, ever wanted was his customers happy. And when he heard just how casually Blaze spouts such stuff, Dan couldn't stomach it. But wait, it gets crazier. Blaze's hatred for the kid is apparent, and the dude is violent as hell. Just take a look here.
They'll dip it a million times, leave you a mess like this. As bad as this comes across, sometimes I feel like punching an 8-year-old.
That leaves Dan in a bit of a shock. Nah, hold up, that's definitely an understatement. Cause his jaw is on the floor. He's probably thinking, dude, that's not how we do things here. Now Dan's torn, cause on one hand, he's loving his interactions with other employees who are totally into their job. On the other hand, he's scratching his head at Blaze's lack of energy. Not just that, but also his rage issues. That's clearly not a suitable trait to have at work.
I'm not sure what exactly it is that's making him angry, but that's not great for all the rest of the team who does think that it's a great place to work.
Dan's had enough. It's time he took action. Things are going to take a wild turn for Blaze, and let's just hope he can handle it. Finally, the day's over, and Dan reveals who he really is to Blaze and the rest of the team. It's like a big reveal moment you'd see in a movie. Dan sits down with Blaze and has a heart-to-heart talk. He's not a happy camper. Nope, he's disappointed.
As you can imagine, Blaze, using inappropriate language, especially in a place where you're trying to create a great atmosphere, that's just the wrong time, wrong place.
But here's the twist. Dan doesn't go all, "you're fired" on Blaze. Nope, he's thinking, let's turn this around. He decides to give Blaze some extra training and guidance.
I'm just trying to figure out a way to help you do something where you're psyched about doing it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
One user even comments how the boss is a true one for giving a second chance without straight up firing, and we can't help but agree. Harlan hoping that with a little TLC, Blaze can become a real asset.
He was genuinely wanting to help me figure out.
And that's a wrap on this adventure. Dan's undercover mission didn't exactly go as planned, but he's turning it into a chance to make things better. Talk about a roller coaster of oops moments, right? Now, Blaze may have been a pain to have as an employee, but the one next on the list is even worse. Stepping into another undercover mission is the big shot of Hooters, Kobe Brooks. And what was his mission? To understand the company from the ground up, all while his coworkers think he's just part of a crew making a documentary about their jobs. At one of the Hooters joints, he meets Jimbo, the manager. He wants to get the scoop on how things are run and how Jimbo's leadership shapes the place. But wait a minute, things start to get awkward. Jimbo's comments about the Hooters girls and his weird ways of doing things leave Brooks feeling less than impressed.
Compliment her on her lack of nails. My, those are some non-glamorous nails you have.
As the day rolls on, Brooks gets more and more uneasy. Jimbo's got these crazy ideas, like a bean eating contest and strange games with the staff.
The first girl that finishes her plate of beans will go home. You cannot use your hands.
And guess what? Brooks is thinking, seriously? Is this what we're doing? He's not a fan of these antics, but he goes along with it for the sake of the show. And if he could, he'd have revealed his identity right then and there to teach that moron a lesson. One user even goes on to say, clearly people are furious, and why wouldn't they be? Jimbo's behavior is completely disgusting, and he has no respect for women. And here's the real kicker. Brooks is struggling inside. He's torn between what Hooters stands for and what he's actually seeing. It's like a clash between the company's values and the reality playing out right in front of him. He's not having it with Jimbo's shenanigans.
The way he approached and interacted with the girls is just really not acceptable behavior. I think it is a serious matter. I think it needs some immediate action.
As the sun sets on his undercover adventure, Brooks takes a moment to think it all through. He's more than just disappointed by Jimbo's behavior and the whole vibe that's been going on. He straight up says that the stuff he witnessed doesn't match up with what Hooters is supposed to be all about. It's time Jimbo's inappropriate behavior comes to an end. Kobe's decided to unveil his mask and reveal his true identity. And guess how Jimbo reacts when he's finally confronted about his behavior.
If I'm too competitive and if I'm too harsh, man, it works.
What was that response? He's asking you to take accountability for your actions and apologize to the women you degraded, and you're here saying completely random, unrelated shit? How does that even make sense? It's when Kobe talks about his own two daughters and says how he'd feel uneasy if they worked under someone like Jimbo that he finally realized what he had.
And I took a step back and, okay, I get it.
Also, we can all agree that the dude should have been fired. But hey, it seems like Kobe might not have all the power to do that. And I'm not the only one who thinks that. Jimbo was a handful, wasn't he? But wait till you meet our next employee. Our CEO, Stephen J. Klubik, takes a redo. He's the first person to do it again, and he's all in, learning from past undercover experiences and determined to make a splash, even if it means going to a whole different country. Klubik didn't mess around with his undercover game. He knew he had to get things just right. A stylist worked their magic, giving him a whole new look. And get this, he even got his ears pierced. Talk about going the extra mile to fit his undercover role. So now he's all set. He lands in Mexico, ready to roll. But the first thing on his agenda? Checking out his hotel digs. And whoa, he wasn't too thrilled. The room wasn't up to snuff, and he didn't hold back in letting his feelings known. Housekeeping and maintenance were not doing their best, and he wasn't happy about it at all. All of it was just a big disaster.
Look at this vent. It needs to be wiped down. Absolutely disgusting. Uh-oh. Absolutely filthy.
Time to switch gears. Klubik takes on the front desk job, teaming up with Stephanie. But hold on, things take a serious turn. He stumbles upon a potential problem with how credit card info is being handled.
I'm not aware or informed of that, but here at the hotel, we have to. That's directly from management, and I don't...
Really?
That's a red flag waving high. He's all about sticking to the rules and keeping things ethical and legal.
Diamond Resorts doesn't do that. That's not a policy we live within because what they're doing is wrong.
And then bam, a guest shows up at the front desk with a complaint.
So many little things that I think need addressing.
I was so upset that a guest was mistreated.
This is Klubik's chance to reveal his true identity as the big shot CEO of Diamond Resorts. He spills the beans about all the issues he encountered during his undercover journey. It's like a wake-up call for the staff about maintaining consistent standards and playing by the rules.
I own this place. Stephen J. Klubik. I own Diamond Resorts. I'm not happy. I'm really not happy about this.
This episode gives Klubik a fresh set of eyes on the challenges his company's facing, especially at the Mexico location. It's all about realizing what's really happening and making things better. He's all in, ready to put in the work to bring the property up to the company's high standards. And there you have it. Moments that show even the best undercover missions can go wildly wrong. These stories reveal the real side of bosses, with all the challenges and surprises they face when trying to be regular employees. Stay tuned for more Undercover Boss Insights, where we continue to uncover the intriguing world of business and leadership.